What if we kissed between the elliptical and the recumbent bike and examined the negative effects of heteronormativity? Howdy hole, and welcome back to Hole Chat, a girl love and boy love podcast that knows all women's gyms are both a blessing and a curse. I'm your host, Chuck, and with me is someone I'd love to work out with, Keelz.
I'm very unsettled about the thought of kissing between the elliptical and the recumbent bike.
You know what? Safety first is all I'm gonna say. Safety first.
One, I'm thinking you are in the way of people.
Yes.
2 is safety. And 3 is like, I don't want an audience. I don't want it to be a bunch of sweaty people working out. I also don't want to be a bother to the sweaty people working out.
You've never been to a women's gym. It's just different there.
No, I've been to a women's gym. They actually probably wouldn't care. Though you might get like 1 or 2 people stare like, oh, I didn't think that was an option.
You also went to a very specific women's gym.
I did.
And now the women's gyms, they look like paradises, and I'm confused. Because I've seen some like on social media, and I'm always like, where is this? And can I get a ticket? And they're like, yeah, it's only $300 a month. And I'm like, okay, I guess I can't afford a ticket.
I don't want the ticket. But yeah, no, like, I don't know. Kissing between that areas don't sound good to me.
I think also you have a level of self-preservation that a lot of the gay women in our lives do not have.
Girl, I have to have some kind of self-preservation. Everything and its mom is trying to take me out.
That's true.
I've been in more accidents that were not my fault than I care to admit.
That's true. That's true. So this is just not your place to, have PvP kissing.
Nah, I'd probably smack you if you tried to kiss me. No.
I mean, if we
not in the gym.
To be fair, if we went to the gym together, I'm probably doing something very intensive.
You're probably ditching my ass. Like, Chuck is gonna go do something that would kill them, and I'm like, I'm gonna go try and increase my flexibility.
That, you are absolutely right. You're probably taking a class, and I'm trying to murder myself.
Yes, you're trying to kill yourself, and I'm in there, like, with the yoga puppies, where you're like, I'm doing yoga, and there's a puppy. I'm, like, watching you with the puppy, watching you die.
Yeah. Well, we are gonna keep it chill this episode. So I wanted to try something different, like a looser format than normal Hole Chat, because there are plenty of comics that I read who don't really gel with our normal mode of doing like the long summary plus the breakdown. So we're going a little more casual, which allows us to also more easily cover some of the things on Keel's wish list, because some of the things you mentioned earlier this year I would love to do, but I was struggling to be like, okay, how do we break this down into a thing? This is what this format should hopefully be for.
Yeah, if I realized you were going to attempt the wish list, I think I would have picked something else. I think of wish lists differently. I think of wish lists like New Year's resolutions. Things that you say you're going to do but don't do. But a to-do list is things you're going to do.
Okay, so here's the issue. You did marry somebody who follows through their New Year's resolutions.
Christ.
I take them seriously.
I love you so much, but I still feel like every day we do this podcast, I learn we are so different.
So we haven't had this discussion before, but that's the thing, is I take the wish list seriously, because I really did mean it as what's something that I can aspire to do. We may not get all of them this year, but it's stuff that I'm actively looking for,
However, I do take a to-do list seriously. So next time I'm going to think of this in the mindset of to-do list, like if we do an end-of-the-year wrap-up, because I feel like I gave you some hard requests by being like, let's read full fucking novels.
To be fair, a lot of them are somewhat doable. So that's why I thought that it was
true,
totally
but I gave you a lot of them. And
okay.
I might have just, like, suggested, one. Like, I want more Western works. Because, like, that's an amount of research and dedication. And Western work can be shorter, which I think would be harder for our format. And, like, if I didn't do that, then I would have just suggested novels. Because, again, novels take some time to read or even listen to.
Well, it's too late. I've already put it in the bank, and I'm already have a couple other situations planned.
Well, shit. My bad.
With that in mind, this is the idea, is that hopefully if this format works out, I can kind of crush some of these other goals that I now have for the rest of the year, but also just give myself a little bit of break because it does take a hot minute to kind of put together a really in-depth summary and write all that. So this is gonna be a little looser. Just gonna little bit. The whole has 3 fingers in it at this point, and we're about to add a 4th. That's what I want this episode to be like.
My brain forgot what our podcast was about, and I was like, bowling ball?
We're gonna add a 4th hole to the bowling ball?
Apparently, that's where my brain's at. ADHD is a wonderful thing.
Yeah, alright. Well, this should be good, I think, but obviously, let us know if y'all like this and if it scratches the same whole chat itch. We'll see. We're experimenting together.
Yeah.
Like we're 2 young teens in a boy love that's about to go drastically wrong.
Or a girl love.
Or a girl love that's about to go drastically wrong because someone's got a knife.
Oh boy. Yeah, and what's also nice about this is, like, I happened, when she was looking for some stories and, like, kind of talking about some stories, I happened to be reading 2 stories that, while they are straight romances, they had queer situations in the background that I loved. And so I'll be talking a little bit about those today. So
These do tie in. Her stories are going to seem wildly different from what I'm
sure.
talking about, but they actually do tie in. Just bear with us.
Yeah.
So considering what we've both read in the last hot minute, we are chatting about lesbians.
Mm-hmm.
And then specifically, I want to chat about Lily Marble, a 2018 manga by Kisugae that follows the lives of several women who all work at and or attend the same gym. It is quite seriously a Love Actually style story, but about lesbians.
Oh, that sounds fun.
I wish I knew the term for that instead of just like an ensemble rom-com.
Yeah.
But that's what it is. Is it like Love Actually, Valentine's Day, what was the other one?
New Year's?
It was New Year's Eve, President's Day, something like that.
There's Mother's Day, I think.
They made a bunch of them.
Yeah.
And one of them I know had Taylor Swift in it when she was dating Taylor
That was Valentine's
Lautner or whatever.
Day.
Girl, the point is, I know there's
Yeah.
a bunch.
Yeah.
So I am just going to kind of very quickly go over what this manga is about, because I really need to discuss more about themes more than I need to discuss what's going on in the manga. And also, this one is not going to be spoiler free. I'm straight up spoiling the endings and like where people end up on this one. So if you have heard of Lily Marble and you really want to read it first, log off, go read it, then come back and you can like hang out with us. Just FYI.
Mm-hmm.
FYI. But yeah, so I read Lily Marble, I think a few months ago. I was in a girl kissing mood. And when I first saw this, I really did think this is a comic that it gives a vibe of a comic that doesn't feel like you know what it's going to be about. Because I saw the cover and I was like, is this just going to be an excuse for all these girls to hook up and fuck? Are they all going to do it in a group? And then I start reading it and I was like, oh, this is immediately going in a different place because the first 2 people you meet are straight women.
Oh.
So it opens up from the point of view of these 2 straight women before we even get into any of the actual gay shit. But they are deeply important to the rest of the story.
Do they remain straight?
Ooh, kind of. Which I'm about to get into, actually. So every single story that happens in here is like an individual piece of a bigger whole kind of thing. All their stories overlap together, though they may be following different people.
That sounds cool.
Yeah, so I've got them broken up into their individual pairings, because they do kind of pair up in a general sense, and so I'll go over them that way. And I do have a handful of pictures to kind of show you, mostly just to also show you what the girls look like. What the couples look like, what the girls look like. I'm going to start by actually showing what everybody looks like, and then I'll go back through. But this is Hikari and Moe.
Mm-hmm.
There are 2 straight girls, just to get that right off the bat.
Okay.
And then this is Miyu. This is Nozomi.
Huh.
This is Risa. I love Risa.
I love Risa.
Risa's just hot in a very specific way that I cannot explain.
She looks like she'll get you in trouble in a fun way, and I'm normally that friend.
Exactly. She also has a tongue ring.
Yeah, Risa's great.
She's so hot.
We all have a Risa in our lives.
And then this is Aya, who is also hot, but in a different way.
Hot, but probably serious and stoic, right?
Not as much as you think, actually. She's interesting. We're going to get to her, of course. And then this is Tsubasa. This is not a great picture of Tsubasa. I think Tsubasa was the hardest character to draw in here, because Tsubasa is like a
Non-femme.
Tomboy, butch-leaning kind of young lady.
I was going to say, this is the butch one.
Yes, but the artist really gets the hang of drawing her later on. And especially when she's older. Because Tsubasa is also the youngest out of everybody. And then, let me jump ahead, because our last character is Mizuho.
Mm-hmm.
And then she is, I think, the oldest out of the cast, too.
Yeah, she actually looks a little older than the girls, too, which I think is pretty cool.
But she is also a hot, hot lady in her own right.
Very hot.
And so, when I started getting into this, I was like, oh my god, is it just going to be a bunch of hot, hot ladies and there's no plot? And then I was pleasantly surprised. So...
You had a much better time with your stories that you're talking about.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to hearing something good before I basically bitch about mine.
Yeah. Let's go, my friend. Okay, so I'm going to start by talking about Hikari and Moe, the two straights. They're both 21 years old, and they're the front desk women at, like, Club Lily. I believe it's like Lily something or whatever. The gym is named Lily something or other, and so it's doubling down on the whole, like, oh, it's the Yuri gym, even in the title, because Lily is related to Yuri in Japanese. Yeah, so, which is why, when I was thinking, like, Lily Marble, I was like, this is just going to be scissoring the whole time.
Yeah.
And then it was not.
Scissoring on the island table.
Scissoring in the yoga room.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're the two front desk ladies. Hikari is interesting because she's in an affair relationship with their boss. And she tells Moe this. And it's just like, yeah, girl, that's just how my life is.
No, girl.
And Moe is just supportive, which is a thing that I have heard in Japan. Sometimes people being like, well, it's not my business that you're in an affair relationship, but you're my friend, so I'll support you. Because they're just like, there's not truly somebody who's wrong in this, you're both wrong. And I do think that's a little bit healthier way to look at a affair, is that the person cheating is wrong and you, the affair partner, are also wrong. But she's just like, I'll support you whenever, girlfriend.
Yeah, mixed feelings on this. Like, again, people should support people. But, like, me personally, I wouldn't support this.
It is also fucked up because, like I said, Hikari is 21.
And her boss is, what, 40?
Oh, middle age. Yeah, 40 to 50.
Yeah.
And that also, I think the actual, like, legal adult age in Japan is 20. And so she's just barely, like, a full-grown adult in society's eyes. So it feels skeevy on her part. And I think that's even why Moe is trying to be like, I'll support you, but she's, like, uncomfortable about it.
They're both young, and she hasn't figured it out. If 100%. I, a 20-year-old, was told by my 20-year-old friend, hey, I'm sleeping with my boss, I don't know if I would honestly have the bravery as a 20-year-old to be like, yo, don't do that.
Exactly.
Like, you might just smile and nod and be like, oh, wow, are you sure? But, like, not like every teen is going to be cool and outspoken enough to say something. We all like to think we are with, like, personal, really good friends. But you will one day, as a person, young, old, or not, in between, you're going to encounter someone who tells you too much information.
Yes.
Maybe you work at retail and a customer drops a bomb on you. Maybe you're working and a coworker tells you this.
Oh, for sure.
Sometimes you just shut up and go along with it to kind of, like, deal with the situation. And I'm not saying that's, like, a wrong answer to do. It's not your business to try and fix everyone's life. But, like, you should put, like, a boundary in between you and that person if it's an uncomfortable situation. Oh, you're cheating with a dude who has, like, children? Step off. I don't want to hear about this.
Yeah.
I'm not that person you can engage with me about it. Like, sure. But, again, I am a 30-plus woman, you know? I'm 30 years old. I've lived this life. But in my 20s, could I have said this to someone who drops a bomb on me like, I'm fucking my boss? I don't know.
Yes, you wish people would journal more. You really do wish people would journal more and keep that to themselves or, like, work it out in private.
Yeah, what's that saying?
Did the journal factory burn down?
Yeah, did the journal factory burn down? Write that inside your notebook. Like, that way, if your affair partner murders you, there's evidence.
Also true. But yeah, like, I've definitely been in that situation as a young person working retail, very nervous, trying to fit in. And then somebody told me something heinous, and it's like, that's not my fucking business, but I guess I'll see you after lunch, and you'll keep training me.
Yeah.
So despite how weird the situation is, these girls are very good friends. Like, Hikari and Moe, like, do spend time with each other and stuff like that. But, like, I believe Moe hasn't dated in a hot minute, and is kind of like frustrated with guys. And so they kind of end up commiserating over like, oh, boys kind of suck. And Hikari would be like, yeah, I love older guys, but he's just like not being super on with me, and he'll push things off, and he doesn't want to like hang out and stuff like that. And I know he's married, but he doesn't want to hang out with me. And it's that like girl, whatever.
He's
and so,
old, girl. He's not gonna go to the tanning bed with you.
Right. And so what the girls end up deciding is, you know what, boys suck. I'll date you. And so they fake date because men have like let them down. And
okay.
Moe kind of does it as a way to cheer Hikari up, because she's honestly like upset about this, and I don't know how to guide her through this situation, so we'll fake date.
I've known many a girl who has actually done this. All of them straight. Yeah. Which, you know, now they're married to men, and they're just like, oh, this was this thing we tried. And I thought it was weird then, but now I kind of look at it as them experimenting, but calling it something safe.
Yes, and what I liked about their situation is this makes them much better friends, because they truly do appreciate each other in a way that I feel like sometimes only someone of a similar background to you can do that. And so they're giving each other all the things that they would want to be given to them from their boyfriends, essentially. And so they have these great times together. They end up going to a hot spring together and hanging out, have like a little girl vacation and stuff like that. And through it, they're just thinking like, oh man, I appreciate her so much. I love her so much. And they truly do end up in love with each other, but in more of a platonic way, because they've learned this person deserves to be appreciated. No one should ever treat her bad. And it boosts both of their self-esteems as well.
That's really nice. And I've seen this in real life, where this happened. And for me, who's bisexual and knew this, like, from the time I was a child, that was like baffling to me. I was like, how could you not love your friend? But I didn't know the demisexual part until like 30. And I knew the bisexual part, but demisexual came in much later.
But you're still right. Like, you should really care for your friends. If it's a tight friend to you, like, because we all have different levels of friends. You can have friends who are further away. You appreciate them. You'd want to do certain things with them, but they're not that close. But you still appreciate them. But especially for your close friends, you should love your homies.
Yeah, this taught them both a really nice lesson. Maybe it would help Hikari get away from the guy who's like...
It actually does help her process her breakup with him, because she gets ghosted by him at some point. And she's like, he just ghosted me, so I think we're broken up. And she, instead of being really sad about it, because at first, when she's talking about this, she's complaining because she's very upset the way that he's treating her. But she also doesn't want to break up with him because she'd be sad about it. She gets broken up with, and she's like, fuck him, actually. And then also he loses his job because he was sleeping with multiple young women and stepping out and using his position of power, of course, to try and get multiple girlfriends. So she was also being cheated on. And Moe was so concerned that Hikari was going to get super upset about this, and instead she's like, fuck him, you're the only boyfriend I need, kind of thing. And so it's very sweet, and they were able to help her navigate. The only kind of weird hiccup is that Moe realizes... Oh, like they get drunk and like get really comfortable with each other at one point, and she thinks like, oh, I could kiss Hikari, she deserves to be kissed. And it's that moment of like, oh, there's this very thin line sometimes between loving someone platonically and loving someone romantically, and she grazes against that. Like, do I just appreciate Hikari so much that I actually want to be with her, or am I okay staying in the straight zone? And so she doesn't, like, come out as bisexual or have this big, like, revelation of, like, oh, I could be with women. She's like, I think I could be with Hikari specifically. That I want to be in her life until, you know, we both get old and gray. But I also want to support her in all of her big milestones. So by the end of the comic, Moe's now got a boyfriend. Oh, it's long-term. And Hikari has gotten married. And she's stoked for her. And she's just like, this is the girl that I loved a lot. And I know that he's appreciating her like she deserves to be appreciated, and so I'm okay with this.
Yeah, that's a really nice story. It's also, like, a really nice kind of, like, the fact that she doesn't have it all figured out. Like, not everyone does. I didn't wake up bisexual. I figured out, as a child, I was a lesbian, was what I thought. Because I had lesbian relatives. I knew them, and then it, like, hit me. I'm like, yeah, I want that, too. What surprised me was, like, entering, like, middle school and then being attracted to boys, too. That I didn't see coming, and it really pissed me off. But, like, you don't figure it out. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. and it takes years, and you can think you can have it down for a long time, and then you have something like this happen, and it changes the course of your thoughts and behavior. So, like, yeah, that's a really nice and, like, very relatable situation.
Yeah. So a lot of people I saw were like, why didn't they become lesbians? They're perfect for each other. And I was like, I get where people are coming from, especially if you're younger. You kind of want this to, in considering the setup for the comic and the title and everything, you're thinking everybody's going to be in lesbians. But I actually really appreciated their relationship and what it kind of showed each other, but also shows the audience about intense friendships and how important they are and how uplifting they can be. And also just kind of like supporting, like, yeah, girls support each other. You can absolutely take your friend out and treat them like a queen. And that's important, especially when times are rough. There's nothing wrong with doing that. And there's also nothing wrong with being like, you know, I love this person so much that I could flip or could, you know, consider. These are all natural, I think, normal feelings to have. And kind of, like, zeroes in, too, on the fact that you can say whatever you want about your orientation. But I think a lot more people are finding out that they may have their one opposite of their orientation.
Yeah. And, like, to be realistic about this story, like, in my honest opinion, at face value, this is a story for older women. This is a story that someone who is, I'm going to say, is 30 plus, is going to relate with. Like, I had that one person who I really connected with, but it was not romantic. When you are, like, in your teens and 20s, I would argue you're far more passionate. That you're like, yes, I'm going to meet someone and we're going to click and it's going to be romantic love. And so I get why younger people are disappointed. Why didn't they get together? But while I'm saying at face value, this is for older people, for real, this is for younger people. This is a message to let them know this might happen to you. And, like, this could very well happen to you or someone you know, or you're going to meet someone who has this kind of story. And you're going to, like, live with it, sit with it, process it, figure it out. Because, again, this is a story that I saw happen. Like, when I was in college and high school, I knew 2 different sets of girls. So 4 girls total who dated because they were just like, I'm tired of boys. And, like, all they did was, like, essentially hold hands and maybe, like, kiss each other on the cheek. But they all tried it out because they had been having a miserable time with boys. They got closer. They figured out what they wanted as people.
Yes, exactly.
And then, like, broke apart. All of the girls in this are married to men who are actually wonderful men. I love every man they've married.
Yeah.
And I'm baffled that that worked. Like, I'm like, I don't think I could ever go back from dating women. Well, like,
yeah.
What, like, I'm bi, but, like, I had a bad time dating men.
No, I get what you mean, but it is a really cool exercise, I think, to do. And does give you that pause that I think everybody should have, which is, what do I want from my life, gender-wise, sexuality-wise? I think everyone should pause to think about that at least once in their lives, to really connect with it. Because even if you find out, oh no, I'm just straight and 100% cis, and I'm not going to leave the straight and narrow, that's okay. At least you've had that exercise to go, like, okay, and now I know for sure what I'm looking for.
Yeah, figuring out you're straight is just as fine as figuring out if you're queer.
Yeah.
Like, I think there's some people who are, like, you know, even pretend that they have attraction, you know, when they don't. Like, oh, everyone's 12 and is only into girls, and I'm a 12-year-old boy. I should like girls.
You mean me?
Yeah. That is definitely
the ace experience.
The ace experience. But I'm sure there's, like, I know young men and women, you know, they were like, I guess I'm going to pretend. And then one day it did actually hit for them. But they were, like, worried about it, too. Like, oh, man, what am I? What if I am the gay? Because, like, I specifically remember someone who I won't name because I know they'd be embarrassed. But I specifically remember talking to another child when I was a slightly older child. And they were like, what if I am the gay? I've never looked at a boy, but I could be the gay. And I was like, would that kill you? Would that end your little world? Are you worried about what your parents would think? What is it that would change? And then they, like, had to think about that.
Yeah.
And when they kind of answered what it could do for them and what it could not do for them, they relaxed a little bit more about it.
Exactly.
But, like, I get the panic. Like, that happens everywhere. And it's very cool to see how this is playing out.
So that was honestly one of my favorite stories, the one that I was the most shocked about, but I do actually appreciate all the stories in here for different reasons. The next couple I'm going to talk to you about are Miu and Nozomi. Miu's 27, and she is a full-time instructor. I think she focuses on like yoga and stretching, that sort of stuff development. And then Nozomi, who's 24, so a little bit younger, and she's also a full-time instructor, but she has a variety of different classes. Miu is very capable and a little sneaky. She's a little more fox-like just the way that her eyes are. Her eyes are closed a lot of the time. She's giving Zelos from Slayers kind of vibes a little bit. She really likes to tease, but especially Nozomi. She's never mean-spirited about it, but she just likes to see the different reactions that she makes, because she is very charmed by her. And Nozomi is great at her job, but she has that gap moe of being really good when she's working, but outside of work being kind of clumsy and like easy to mess up and kind of all over the place and very like exuberant and kind of emotional and stuff like that. And she ends up not being very confident because of that as well. Yeah. Even though everyone comments like, you gotta see her in her class, she's got that shit on lock. And all the other women are like, she's pretty attractive when she's in a class.
It's like Sailor Moon. Sailor Moon was always badass when she was Sailor Moon. But when she was Usagi, girl, get your life together. Study. Set an alarm.
Yes. So Nozomi is that type. Miu has got a huge crush on Nozomi. And she's interesting because everyone else is like, oh, she's really cool and she's in class. And Miu's over here like, I love the gap. I love her when she's clumsy, and I love her when she's being her best. She's amazing both ways. And I would love to touch clits with her, I guess, not tips. I'd love to clam slam this woman.
You know what my unfortunate mind conjured up? My mind was like, well, what would tips touching on a woman be? And I thought of two snails reaching out to each other and touching their icky mouths together. And I was like, why did I do that? Why did I do that to myself?
Don't insult the snailsbeans.
The snailsbeans?
And you think I'm joking.
I just think you're crazy, but I guess there's some snailsbeans. I don't know.
But yeah, she's very, very interested in Nozomi. She really, really likes her. And she's not going to do anything about it. She already knows ahead of time she's not going to do anything about it. She's pretty positive Nozomi's straight. One of the other instructors, Risa, the one with the tongue ring, she gives Miu attitude about this. Like, you gotta shoot your shot, girl. You gotta take a chance. But Miu's like, no, I'm not gonna take a chance. I don't think I should. And in Miu's defense, she is dropping hints that I think somebody who's into women would pick up on. Nozomi's got no idea. And so instead what it kind of becomes is that Nozomi just thinks like, oh, Miu's a great friend. She's really supportive to me. When I first started here and was really insecure, she's helped me out. And so she deeply appreciates Miu, the best that a straight woman can appreciate another woman.
Oh, so Nozomi's straight.
As far as we know, because she seems kind of in this nebulous situation at the beginning, but you realize later, yeah, she is straight. She just wasn't focused on men. And so she's an interesting character because she does not center men in her life. She's more concerned about her career and doing well. But I believe by the end, at the like epilogue part, she does have a boyfriend at that point. And Miu's kind of, given her internal blessing, because for Miu, what was way more important to her is their relationship that they did have. So out of respect, she's like, yeah, I'm not going to hit on her. I'm going to appreciate her because I like seeing her become a better person, get more confident in herself. I like supporting her. And I don't want to ruin this specifically, and not in a like, oh, I'm a coward kind of way, but in a, no, I think what we actually have is far more important than any romantic feelings that I have.
That's also nice to discover, but like that story would be very disappointing to read because, like, again, I love people getting together, and it's always a little sad when you have that one couple where it's like you're both great people, and for no bad reason they just don't get together because you always feel sorry for the one pining.
I think in this case, that's even what Miu's trying to get across is that, like, yeah, it's rough on her, but she's like, I am a lesbian. Not every woman on earth is going to be into me, for one. And not every woman's going to be gay. And so she's like, I understand where some of my friends are coming from, especially Risa, about, like, shoot your shot, give it a try anyways. But she's like, I know I'm barking up the wrong fucking tree.
Like, she's just like, I'm not going to push a good relationship I already have.
Yeah, because he's like, I know that she's straight. I know there's no shifting it. but I also understand where Reese is coming from, because
there's so many people who, like, if you just tell them, they'll at least let you shoot your shot.
Or if you just tell a woman, hey, you can be into women, they'll be like, oh, fuck, I didn't know that. And then you do have the opportunity. And so I get where both schools of thoughts are coming from, of like, shoot your shot because it'll probably be fine because she could be a lesbian, she doesn't know. But also sitting there and being like, yeah, but is me getting that worth ruining what we have right now when I really do appreciate her as exactly the person she is? No.
Yeah. But that's like the premise of any good slow burn friends to lover story.
Sure, yeah.
Is that there's like the sense of like, do I want things, honestly, do I really want things to change? Mm-hmm. Because like there's that risk factor. Me and Chuck have been best friends since we were like 10 and 11 years old. We have been best friends, neighbors, roommates. We really ran the gauntlet.
Yeah.
We did not start dating until our late 20s. We could not have done it any sooner. We loved each other deeply, but I could not have lost my best friend in high school just to date you.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, I'm not saying we would have broken up, but like maybe we wouldn't have been as confident or as sure of what we wanted.
There's more stress and pressure, I think, sometimes when you enter into a romantic relationship, especially as a teen or young adult, because there's expectations that you'll put on yourself that are fake, but you think that they matter.
Yeah.
And I've even thought before how lucky we were that we were both born with the same sex, because I think if we were opposite sex, we would have been dating and fucking way sooner. And like that's that I don't think that would have actually been helpful to either of our development, because I was a mess in high school and a mess as a young adult. And then Keelz had her own, like, you know, demons in her closet and stuff like that we both needed to work through. Yeah. That would have been worse, I think, than just us being like, hey, let's just be super besties.
But it was great having a female friend to rely on then. And, like, there are times, like, when the thought popped up where it's like, would I date Chuck? And it was like, yeah, I love Chuck. But it's also that fear of, like, I don't want to lose what we already have.
Yeah.
And so, like, I would say that we were those people who wind up not getting together for a long time, where they're just like, no, I don't want this to change, or like risk being lost. And that is a totally fine place to settle on. But like when we got older, for us, and it's not this way for everyone, but for us it was like, you know what, no, this person is my number one always, fuck it, we're getting together. And that's what happened with us.
Yeah.
And so like that's like a nice real life moment for us, but that's also great storylines for others.
Right.
But I still find the people who don't get together, I still think I personally just find it sad.
It is a bittersweet thing, because I think in our case, we were both queer and we knew we were queer. So there was a chance there regardless.
Yeah.
But in a situation where it's a straight person and a gay person, you don't actually have a chance. And so I think that this was interesting in that it showcased that she knew the whole time she didn't have a chance, but she was going to let her crush run its course and be okay with that and enjoy what she had and not make it into this big sob story or anything, because she's the one that's not upset. I think more people around her are upset for her, but she's like, yeah, I know what I'm doing and I'm just going to enjoy it. Because that's another part of, I think, sometimes it pops up in the queer community as like, don't let your crush on straight people run its course. And it's like, no, you should. Let it run its course. Get it out of your system. Don't try to just, like, shove other things in it or be like, oh, I'm just giving up. But you can just enjoy the feelings of a crush sometimes.
Yeah.
And not have it come to fruition.
You can enjoy the feeling of a crush. You can enjoy the feeling of doing something or not doing something about it.
Yeah, so I still liked her story. It wasn't my absolute favorite. So there's that bittersweet feeling to it. But I do get it, and I was not, like, crushed that nothing happened. Because I felt by the middle of the comics, I was like, well, yeah, this isn't going anywhere, and she knows this, but that's, you know, okay.
But yeah, like, we're gonna be different. You've read it and I haven't. Right now,
that too.
Right now, in my imagined head, I'm crushed.
I've had like there's 3 books to this series, so like I had plenty of time to kind of sit with it and see where it was coming from. But we'll move on to the next couple that I like also have a very big soft spot for. Risa and Aya, the 2 hottie McHotties. They're both 28. They are freelance instructors, and they're popular with everybody. The women love them. The men who go to the gym also love them. But they are also deeply horrifying because Aya is the one that is a straightforward taskmaster, but nicer than you expect her to be. Reese is the one that's like, come on, everybody. I have endless energy. let's work harder, shall we?
Let's do whippets.
Yeah. Let's do whippets and then do 400 burpees.
Yeah.
Both very good instructors, both very hot ladies.
To the artist's credit, yeah, that's the vibe they give off.
They give such a vibe. So, yeah, because Reese is the wild type, has piercings and dyed hair. And then Aya's the, like, sleeker and sexier type. Seems a little bit more demure, but still, like, a very powerful woman. Reese is very obviously a lesbian, and she doesn't hide it at all. Well, Miss Aya defo tried to play straight for a period of time, and she is divorced. Because she got married super quick, and then they were together for, I think, not even 6 months, and then they divorced. So it was a really fast turnaround that she had, or whatever, right?
That happens too.
Yeah. So the thing that was cool about this is, like, at the beginning, you think Reese is being weirdly pushy with Aya, because she keeps being like, hey, you know, we could spend some time together, or what do you want to do? Or, like, coming across her when they were both in the showers, and, like, getting very close to her and being like, so you got some free time? And then she, like, goes out with her and will be like, hey, don't get too drunk tonight, or you don't know what could happen between the two of us. And I was like, ma'am, you don't need to be the lesbian that horrifies me with your sexiness. We don't have to do this. What are you doing? And then you find out...
I have 3 women who pop up in my head when I hear this girl.
They're dangerous women.
They're dangerous women.
And then you find out they're exes.
Oh, that's fun.
So they dated all through college. And they were very close to each other, to the point where really they bought couple rings and everything. So they were very close to each other. And then Aya breaks up with her and, like, ghosts her.
She tried to be a lug. Lesbian until graduation.
It wasn't even as specific as that. It was one of those things where she, like, met up with her parents on a weekend, and they're like, we can't wait until you get married and have grandbabies and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, now that you're getting to be done with college, we're super proud of you and everything. So they're very nice parents. But they're like, yeah, it'll be exciting when you have a grandchild. And our job now is to take care of grandchildren and you to, like, be successful and live a happy life. And we want you to find a good partner. And so they're not pressuring her. But in Japanese society, where there's a lot of very straightforward expectations, you're supposed to kind of, like, get on a set of rails and go forward. That feels like parental pressure. So they don't mean it that way, but it feels like parental pressure. And so she's like, no, I gotta be straight. This was a lark. I'm being really stupid. And so they were deliriously happy, very supportive of one another, increase each other's confidence all the time. You know, they're each other's ride or dies. She says no, and then, you know.
The internalized pressure to be straight is real. My parents did not pressure me at all. And in fact, my parents gave me a talk when I was a teen, because they're like, hey, if you want to date women, we don't care. And we encourage you to do what you want. No. I had a game plan. I was going to be bisexual until after I finished college and then marry a man. Yeah, I was trying to do that because I thought I could, because I was, like, in denial of my true self or whatnot. No, that's not how it worked. I got no pressure from my parents. I grew up with gay aunts and gay uncles, and that was my life. But I still felt the need to hide because, like, well, your family may be cool. Society's not always cool.
Exactly.
And so, like, it doesn't even matter if her parents were cool. Probably because they were cool, she felt more pressure. I know I certainly did.
Yeah, and this wasn't even a situation, like, they really wanted her to be successful. They were not being like, just go to college so you can get a husband. They wanted her to do what she wanted to do, but then she does feel guilty about, like, they're such good parents, I should give them this one thing, which is a grandchild. That's the least I could do. And she can't do it. She legitimately can't do it. She's not even upset that she got divorced. She doesn't miss this man at all. It's nothing. So Risa, the reason why she was getting
that could have been my life if I forced it for real.
Right. So Risa, the reason why she was getting on Miu's case about, like, shoot your shot is because from Risa's perspective, she's like, I'm gonna shoot my shot on this girl. Like, we were together for so long. I'm still holding a candle for her. If I don't try to push her to at least talk to me, I've lost. And I refuse to lose. She's worth it. She is worth the effort. She's worth embarrassing myself. She's worth being kind of cringy. She's worth coming off as a little bit pushy because I desire her so much and I understand her. Because even through all this pushiness, there's no resentment. Because I is, like, also afraid of, like, oh, she's got to resent me for leaving. And Reese is like, no, I 100% understand. I can live out and proud because I'm lucky and I've made strong choices since I was a teenager about how I wanted to be perceived and how I wanted to be. The dyed hair, the piercings, the, you know, outgoing personality, and she's like, and I've made a niche for myself where I'm beloved for being exactly who I am, but I'm not expecting you to fucking do that. And I will help you through it, but I'm not letting you go, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I was horny for their relationship once I found this part out.
No, that's like this is a great relationship. I do kind of love when it's deeper than what it looks like on the surface.
It was hot as hell to me from a literary perspective.
Yeah.
I love being tricked.
Yeah.
And then what helps them is, like, Aya does start reciprocating and is realizing, yeah, my feelings haven't gone away either. And it kind of shows that she's been thinking about Risa this whole time, but with a lot of guilt, but also very much missing her. And then what I think kind of blew me away, because I feel like I don't get this often enough in manga, and it's cool to see this, is that Aya ends up talking to her mother, and her mom's like, you know, I don't want to force you to do anything, right? Like, you don't have to feel a certain weird kind of way. You don't have to start dating again. Me and your father just want you to be happy. And then Aya kind of mentions Risa, and her mom's like, that was your girlfriend. So they'd met Risa, and they knew that they were super close. And her mom's like, I'm an idiot asshole. That was your girlfriend, and you were trying to introduce her to us in the best way that she could. And she's like, hey, I just want you to be happy, babe, and I mean that. Yeah, sure, I'd love a grandchild. But you know what's most important to me is that my daughter is fulfilled and happy. You do that. And she's like, don't worry about your dad. We'll talk about it. He's gonna understand. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
You're what matters. Please bring her home again so that we can do the meet the girlfriend dinner over correct way. She's a wonderful lady. Because they'd already liked Risa. They'd met her and liked her. Thought, wow, what a good friend for our daughter. And now she's like, I'm an idiot. Girl, I got you.
That validation is like...
It's so sweet.
It's so sweet, and it's so important. There are things I regret doing, like, with my own parents. Like, again, I kind of waited till I was, like, could possibly die before I came out to my folks.
She juked them.
I juked them. I literally was like, well, I might die. So before I go into surgery, I'm going to tell them I'm with my best friend romantically, and that I plan to marry her. Surprise. Deal with the fact that I'm also maybe going to die during surgery. Like, that was fucking mean. I regret that I did that. It took me, like, 2 years to regret it, though. because I was just so, like, aha, I got them. I forced them to accept me.
You're not the only person who's done that either, which is really funny.
I'm sure I'm not. But, like, it's a regret I have now that I'm planning to one day sit down and have a talk with my parents about, and just apologize. I have had a softer talk about it, but they just waved it off and were like, you could have told us whatever the fuck you wanted before you went to surgery. We were so scared.
But I think that's also part of parenting, is that you can forgive your child for so much, because ultimately your decision to have that child was to bring a love unlike any other into the world. And that's what matters more to you, is nurturing that relationship than any little missteps that they have, because they know you and they love you. And so when you have that good parent-child bond, what's important is a lot of times keeping the bond going even when you both fuck up. You forgive your parents for shortcomings that they had, and they forgive you when you do something out of pocket. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like, that's how good family dynamics should go.
Well, yeah, and that's the situation here, is this... I had never thought her parents would accept this. She assumed that the least that she could do was give them this other thing that they wanted. And it's like, that's not how it works. They see you as a full person. And so I found this so validating, just because it was so much about seeing their female child as a full person and respecting that. And no matter if you are a queer person or a straight person or from any other walk of life, having your parents recognize you as a full person and respecting the choices that you make is so important.
Yeah. Parent, guardian, like, a figure in your life respecting you, that's what you need.
Yeah.
Like,
whoever is your parent adjacent person, when they see you and they love you for whatever choices you've made, it feels so good.
And I want you to know, if your parents don't love and see you for the person you are, that's a them problem, not a you problem.
And I'm your dad now.
Yeah, we're your dad and mom. I like being a girl. I don't want a dick. I'd play with my dick too much.
But I'm Big Papa, and I won't accept you for whatever. Yeah. But so I like their relationship a lot. They obviously end up together and very, very happy, because they just pick up where they left off. They've known each other for so long. They met back up, doing the fitness stuff. They're good to go.
These are very real stories. Like, I'm very impressed with them. Like, I know lesbians like this. I know people like this. That's very nice.
Again, I definitely thought this was just going to be pages and pages of scissoring in the back room of the gym, and it was not, so I was stoked.
I mean, yeah.
Then we got to talk about the very last couple, which is Tsubasa, who is 19, and Mizuho, who is 30. Do not jump on me about age gap. I don't care.
Have we seen Ms. Mizuho?
Yeah, she's the office lady that I showed you. That was she attends the gym. She doesn't.
Could you show me her again? I remember Tsubasa. I don't remember Mizuho.
Yeah, little Miss Sleek.
Oh, fuck. Yes.
30-year-old office lady.
I would be 19 and after this woman too.
Me too. Right. So Tsubasa is a baby butch, and Mizuho is a hot office lady with a pretty boy fetish.
Oh, that's funny.
And if you are queer, you know where this is going, because there's so many people who will say, I've heard of like dudes being like, oh yeah, I just really like kind of butch women. Mm-hmm. And there are men who like butch women. That is true. That is a whole subset. But there are plenty of dudes who they dated like the butchest girls they could find all through high school because they really just wanted to be with a dude. Mm-hmm. And there are women who dated the prettiest men they could find because they really just wanted to be with a woman and hadn't crossed that bridge yet, right? So you see where this is coming from a mile away.
Yeah.
So, of course, Mizuho absolutely mistakes Tsubasa for the hottest young man she's ever seen. And this goes on for a long time because in her defense, Tsubasa is part-timer. Mm-hmm. So because I believe she's like going to college or something like that at that point. So she's a part-timer, so she's not there all the time. She doesn't lead any classes, so you don't see her out of their very kind of generic, like, gym uniform. So she's wearing, like, an oversized top and, like, longer shorts. And she has this short haircut. And there are other very beautiful men at this gym. And then they call her a nickname that is a male-coded nickname, which she also has a male-coded nickname even outside of the gym amongst her peers. And so Mizuho's just like, I mean, he's my type. What am I supposed to do?
Is Tsubasa kind of flat-chested too?
Yes.
I thought so because, like, seeing her as, like, either she's binding or she's flat.
She's pretty flat-chested.
Yeah.
Which is the thing that she laments a little bit because she's excited to work with other women who are not treating her weird. Because some of her peers in high school treated her kind of weird or made certain assumptions about her, not necessarily in a, oh, are you gay way, but in a, well, you have to like very specific things because you're so butch. Which is a problem in Japan, is if you look too butch, you cannot enjoy female things. You have to be the prince type.
Yeah.
And so Tsubasa loves kittens.
Yeah.
She loves some girly products.
I was just about to say, there's a comic, Azumanga Daioh, that discusses this. There is a girl, Sayori, I think is her name. Mm-hmm. And she is stoic. She's good at sports. She looks like the princess type with long, beautiful hair. And other girls at her school have crushes on her. But if anyone bothered to know the real her, they would know that she's very sweet. And she's a little traditional. She loves cats, but they tend to not like her. And she's a great person. And there's like a girl in that comic, I think her name is Kaorin. And, like, as a child, I felt bad for Kaorin. But, like, as an older person, I kind of resented her. Because she had all these expectations on the girl. Like, well, you can't like cats. You can't like plush. You can't do cute things. Because anytime the stoic girl did cute things, she was disappointed. And, like, as a kid, I got that disappointment. Because when you imagine your crush, you kind of imagine them in your preferred type.
Yeah.
So, like, it's not like she's doing anything seriously wrong. She's a child. Being a high schooler and imagining your crush as like super princely, of course. But like as an adult, I grew disappointed with her for the expectations she put on someone else. And like that is a problem, as Chuck was just saying. People do that, and it's like, oh man, so rough.
I think it sucks more because in Japan, I've just heard enough from people that it's frustrating because it's not even people that have a crush on you that have this expectation. Other people put the expectation on you. There's a lot of shoujo-related media, and I feel bad that I can't pull a bunch of things off the top of my head right now. There's a lot of shoujo-related media where you are seeing a very butch young lady or a very tomboyish young lady get the opportunity to wear dresses and do like very girly things, and it's seen as empowering because you get pigeonholed based on something as arbitrary as your appearance or some of your interests. So you may be really good at a sport, but you can't wear a dress. Whereas here, it's like the opposite. In America, it's like, as a somewhat pseudo student athlete, on game days, we had to dress up. And we had to dress up nice. And they expected us, in a lot of cases, to wear like really nice dresses on game days, which is something I didn't want to do. But that was the expectation, is you look hot as hell, and then you're still going to go play your sport, right? You'll see women's basketball does this too. Game days, they are dressed to the nines. Some of them in designer clothing, really nice dresses. These, 6.5 foot tall women are dressed like that, and they go out on the court and kick your ass. Or they have some of those beautiful braids I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And how dare they? But you don't have that same expectation in Japanese society.
Yeah, and to a baby extent, I know what you're talking about. For me, it was like, it's a little different. It's like, when I'm dressed sporty, they expect me to be all about sports all the time. Mm-hmm. And I like dressing sporty because I look pretty cute in sporty looks. She looks hella cute. I look very cute in sporty looks. But, like, I still like cute things. Like, my preferred style, if I could wear it all the time, is something cute and girly. But, like, cute and girly, to me, takes a lot more work than sporty.
Sure.
So then, if they meet me in sporty mode first, and then later they meet me in the girly mode, I've gotten weird traction or weird responses back to that.
Yes.
And I've gotten used to it, because I've gotten it since childhood.
Right. And so that's what Tsubasa's whole, like, adolescence has basically been, is dealing with this perceived gap or personality and behavior, and it's not really there. And so she's just excited to work with women who are treating her normal and, like, the people who are respecting her. But what it is she's working with adults. She's working with people who have graduated from high school, and so they know we're not going to put weird things on you, and they are charmed by the fact that she looks like a little prince. And it's a positive attribute for her. But so since she's referred to by this, like, super masculine nickname, Mizuho has no idea for so long that she's actually a girl. And when she does find out, it's like Mizuho was swimming. She got a leg cramp. Tsubasa was the lifeguard on duty that evening. And so she reveals that she's wearing a feminine swimsuit, not something super cutesy, but a feminine swimsuit. And you can see her breasts, and she jumps in and saves Mizuho. Mizuho's like, oh, it's been a girl this whole time. Oh my god, I'm such an idiot. That's why I was barking up the wrong tree, in addition to her age. And then she's like, shit, fuck.
She's still hot.
She's still, like, into her and stuff like that. But what I liked about their relationship, too, is they start out very much, like, once Mizuho realizes this isn't just somebody, like, that's eye candy, this is someone who is a girl, I should help mentor her. I should get closer to her as a woman-to-woman friendship kind of thing. And Tsubasa admires Mizuho so much, because she's like, you're beautiful and you have your stuff together, and people see you as powerful, but you're just so gorgeous, and, like, you always, look perfect and everything. And Mizuho is known for being, like, office beauty type,
Mizuho's gorgeous. Like, stunning picture you showed me.
And so they get close to each other, and Tsubasa's like, hey, could you help me figure out girly stuff, because I don't know how to do it, because she's never been able to figure it out. And so Tsubasa has, like, gender exploration via Mizuho. And Mizuho does make her look really cute and everything like that. And Mizuho's like, well, she's a beautiful young lady. But what I appreciated about this is Tsubasa tries it out in a safe space with Mizuho, and then at the end she still decides, no, I do like looking butch. I just didn't like the expectations people put on me. But she still has elevated her style and taken Mizuho's advice to like tighten up exactly how she wants to be perceived. And I was like, this is such a great situation, because it's not putting her down for being butch. It's not giving her the glow up of, like, well, I can like whatever I want, even though I'm butch and I can wear dresses and just have a short haircut. Hers very much is the experience that someone like me has gone through a lot closer, where it's like, yeah, I don't want to look that way. I just want to be accepted for however I look and have my interests separate from what I look like.
Yeah, people's expectations on what you're wearing or what you look like is very crazy to me.
Stupid and crazy.
I've had the wildest expectations, and, like, I don't know why I feel like I've handled it a little better. I don't feel like my looks always was something that I struggled with, like, especially since, like, yes, I like sporty wear, yes, I like cutesy wear. I like both things, because I like sports, I like cute stuff. I would say that I live more in the cute realm in terms of things I like, but I think, like, God, I know you were part of my support system because you praised me no matter what I wore.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I think maybe having a support system there really helped.
Yeah, and that's kind of what was so important about this part, and in the comic in general, is not letting expectations drive what you want to do with your life, and learning how to shake those off, and learning how to fully accept yourself however you want to be. Because even in this case with Mizuho's having to shove off the expectations like, well, you're 30, you're getting kind of old, aren't you going to settle down yet? Aren't you going to get a boyfriend? Her mom's constantly asking, like, when are you going to get married and stuff like that. And she's like, I love working out, and men give me attitude for it, and I don't want to deal with that because it gives me, like, a break. And it's also kind of celebrating Mizuho's horniness, because female horniness can get downplayed a lot, too, in a lot of different cultures. And she's like, I just want to look at hot people, and I should be allowed to do that. And it gets my gears going. And so, from both sides of this, I felt like their relationship was really interesting. And then I also do appreciate, once Tsubasa gets her shit together and feels more comfortable, and she's, you know, developed this very strong friendship with Mizuho, after she becomes official legal age, they do date. Because Mizuho by then has been like, yep, nope, we're friends, and I still haven't stopped being horny for her. And Tsubasa hasn't talked to me about lesbianism. When Tsubasa's like, hey, can we date or whatever, she's like, yep.
As soon as you're legal.
Yes, ma'am. Whatever you would like to do. I've only been thinking about it, and I'm not going to get upset about the age gap, because I've also learned, fuck the haters, she's great.
Yeah, I feel like age gap, and I'm going to be real because there's a lot of young people, age gap, at least in mine and Chuck's time growing up, happened a lot because the internet wasn't around. You needed an older gay person to show you the ropes. And, like, that didn't necessarily mean they were a creep or groomer. Not saying that those weren't there.
Sure.
But, like, it was often that you would be, like, a 20-year-old with maybe a 30 or even a 50-year-old who's like, cool, I'm your road stop. I'm showing you where to go as a gay person. I'm teaching you the lingo. I'm taking you to the secret clubs. And I'm telling you what's up. And that just happened. There was a lot of people who dated, like, people much older or much younger. And then they would go their separate ways.
Well, in addition to that, too, a lot of people will talk about how if you don't come out when you are a teen, a lot of times you end up having a secondary kind of teenhood as a young adult or as an older adult, because you missed out on some of those foundational experiences. I know it happens a lot with trans people.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Where if you have a trans friend and they come out and then they're kind of crazy for a little bit, girl, they're having puberty part 2 physically because of the hormones that they're taking, but also mentally because they're having to re-examine the entirety of their life through a new lens. And so that's also why I think age gap relationships show up a little bit more in queer spaces, is because somebody who's come out at 30 will sometimes be going through the same stuff as somebody who's coming out at 20, and they are way more equal mentally than you would expect them to be if they were a straight couple. And I think that's what this is kind of getting across, is Mizuho's having her lesbian awakening, right as Tsubasa's having her own, like, regular kind of teenage awakening of, like, I need to be more confident in myself. And so I'm just like, yeah. And also, I want Tsubasa to be able to live with a hot woman that can take care of her. I don't have an issue with this.
Right. So, like, if you're still uncomfortable with age gaps, I get it.
You can be.
But I think you should also think about, like, the perspective of, like, where people are at emotionally, too.
Yeah.
Because you can get the vibes. Honestly, if the story is written well, you can get the vibes of someone who's like, I'm just being a creep for this young person.
Yeah.
Or, like, if there's actually something there.
Oh, and also, too, this is still fiction as well.
Right.
So, like, just do whatever.
Right. But I'm just saying, like, don't let it ruin, like, your night thinking, oh, it's a predatory situation.
Yeah.
Really look at how the characters are treating each other, and if it feels predatory, call it what it is. It's predatory. Drop the comic if you don't want to read it anymore. But if you're like, actually this feels fine, just roll with it.
Or if this just feels interesting to you.
Yeah.
And you're curious to how it's gonna, like, shore up at the end. Yeah.
Yeah, if you want to explore it, explore it.
Because fiction is a very safe place to explore whatever the hell you want. But, yeah, you would understand more why I wanted to talk about this comic, because it goes a lot of different places, and it touches on a lot of different ways of women loving each other, but also, like, how society can kind of twist how they would like to interact with each other, how that plays a role into each their individual relationships and stuff like that. So I just found this to be so interesting that I had to talk about it.
I will very briefly touch on the two stories that I wanted to touch on.
Because they also have to do with lesbianism in society and the way that society puts pressures on women and how that can make things worse.
Right. These are like
best case scenario situations for the most part.
I was about to say mine are like bad.
Yeah. Yeah. Mine were best case scenario. What if we're thinking positively and we're moving forward? And then Keelz are...
Yeah, mine are bad.
Yeah.
Again, it's straight romance, and what I was excited about them was I was like, whoa, this story is tackling women's suffrage. This is tackling equal rights. This is tackling complicated emotions. Oh, the straights suck in this. Oh my god, the straights suck in this. So, like, I didn't personally love these stories, but I want to mention them because I was impressed with everything else about the story, and then the queerness that they had in their story that I was like, wow, this is different from what I experienced as a teen. Mm-hmm. Like, it's improvement. Mm-hmm. So, y'all might hear this and be like, but Keelz, this I read every day. Hey, guys, I'm probably 10, 15 years older than y'all. Mm-hmm. I didn't read this. Like, back in my day, like, seeing a trans character in a comic that people, yes, made fun of was better than nothing.
Yeah.
Like,
we accepted a lot.
We accepted a lot that was, like, really inappropriate by today's standards. I can't remember the comic, but I especially remember a comic where everyone was fawning over a woman, and then it's revealed she has a dick, and, like, that's the joke of the comic. Haha, she used to be a man. And it's fairly inappropriate, but, like, as a kid, I was like, this girl's living so free, and, like, she gets to be herself. She does not give two shits about disappointing these two young men who were pursuing her. She tells them to grow up in it and, like, moves on from them. So she, like, breaks their hearts a little, too. But she's like, no, y'all know I have a dick now and you're not interested. No matter how much you're pretending you are, you're not interested. And that's on you. So she still uses a punchline. They still treated her badly. But she had a brave moment in it. And that was really nice.
But that was also the best we could do.
That's the best we could do. So, in here, there's some, like, queer stuff happening that I'm like, it's not at the forefront, it's not perfect, but oh my god. So, the first one I'm going to tell you about, it has too many damn names. They could not decide how they wanted to translate the story. So, the one that is most common is The Maid and the Evil Empress, or The Villainous and the Loyal Servant. There's 3 other names.
Cool.
It's fucking ridiculous.
Fantastic.
The author of this, forgive me, Korean is not my tongue, and I'm real bad. But the author is pretty large team, which is Haeyoung and Ant Studios. And Ant Studios has about 6 people in it, 6 to 8. The artist is Ant Studios. So the author and the artist all worked on this story. But that's a lot of cooks in the kitchen.
For sure.
So, parts of this worked, parts of this did not. This was published in 2023, originally on Webtoons and Next Level Studio. I don't think you can find it anywhere currently. The main characters is a female lead called Parisa, and she is a dame from another country called Dunamis. She is currently living as, like, a maid in a new country called Lantis. Lantis is a country where, like, the nobles have magical powers. And in Dunamis, if you just had enough conviction, you could get magical powers.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So the people of Lantis treat magical power folk like royalty. You know? Yeah. Because it is very rare.
Maybe you're born with it.
Yeah. It's very rare there. And then in Dunamis, again, you just have to work really hard. And you also have to be honest, because if you get your powers, they also feel a sensation in themselves telling them, this is your mission. But if you forsake your mission, you lose your powers. So she is a dame, and for a long time it's kept a secret. But her sacred mission is salvation. So she believes she needs to help someone one day, and she doesn't know who. And this is what eventually is her drive to come to Lantis. So that is why she is in Lantis.
Yeah.
She is vastly interesting, and she is actually pretty much escaping a growing, controlling relationship with her crown princess in that country. Her crown princess is called Rivera Dunamis, and she is a lesbian. She's a lesbian of all lesbians. She hates men, and she also believes that if you are one of her knights, you are hers. You don't have free will anymore.
She's got problems.
Yes, and she kind of does this with her family. She had to fight for everything she wanted because there's women's suffrage in this. Yeah. So she had to fight for everything she wanted.
She's got problems, but I can already see why she has problems.
Right. And her favorite knight is the female lead who leaves her.
Yeah.
So there's a conflict there. And I'm like, oh, wow. They're not coming out and saying it that she's a lesbian, but this woman's a lesbian. I was like, okay. That happens in stories. They don't come out and say stuff all the time. And maybe she's not, but there's no way she isn't. But she's a lesbian. I'm sorry.
That's great.
There is another knight from this country who is like also in love with the princess, who eventually becomes evil because princess has too much favoritism for her other knight. And like you could say, yeah, she became evil and she shouldn't have, but you could also say she was pushed into it.
Okay, so far what we have is woman who feels like she has to move hell on earth to get what she wants because society is not kind to women, then becomes real weird with other women through a combination of her own lesbianism and the fact that she's had to fight tooth and nail for everything that she's gotten. And it could even kind of be seen as even a protection thing to keep all these women away from other people because she's had such bad experiences. And then her lesbianism for her favorite knight then causes another woman to become a bad person because nobody here is processing their feelings correctly.
Yes.
Shout out patriarchy.
Yes. The story very much feels like, let some women be lesbians and things will be okay.
Yeah.
Because let me tell you, it gets worse. This is the young generation. These are your 20-year-olds. So I'm going to introduce you to the 30 and 40-year-olds who are having a worse time. So the queen, the empress that Parisa winds up serving, is a woman named Erica. And her husband is treating her like she is a flower on the shelf. You love this flower. You protect this flower. You give it sunlight, but it doesn't have soil. It doesn't have enrichment. It doesn't have power. It doesn't have everything it really needs. She's miserable, but she's in love with her husband, but she's miserable.
Typical straight woman problems.
Yeah. And he, honestly, like, I consider him kind of like a baby antagonist. Like, you fucked up, man. You have fucked up so hard. He is also 10 years older than his wife. Like, and I'm trying not to put attitude in my voice, but it's there. And, like, to be fair, though, like, that really doesn't have much to do with it, but it could...
But you're already frustrated with this man.
You're frustrated with him. And, like, him being 10 years older could also be, like, why he's not listening to her. Like,
that makes sense.
It could be, like, she's younger, so I'm not listening to her. But, sure, not only are you 10 years older, but then by the time we're at this point in the story, they've been together 10 to 12 years. So now she's not a young thing anymore. She's got experience. Now can you listen to her?
No.
You should have been listening to her from the beginning, but you're not. So she has that issue. But then worse, she is being bullied by her sister-in-law, Nisiana Eris.
And this is the part that's very important to me.
This is the best part. She is the villain, and this woman is intense, and she is great. And, like, she is subtle with her bullying and with her evilness. And honestly, what trips her up is her impatience, and then she starts killing people. But by then, it's still hard to get her. Like, I don't feel like she's defeated. I feel like she gave up, and so they got to win.
Oh, queen
She's
shit.
great. But so what her issue is, and it's a story you slowly learn, and this also gets confusing because there's another Rivera. But when she was a child, she was childhood friends with a little girl, Rivera Lantis. Not to be mistaken for Rivera Dunamis. But so, Rivera Lantis was married to the emperor. But let's go back to her childhood. Nisiana and Rivera Lantis are childhood best friends, and the parents see their closeness and are like, well, we'll marry Rivera Lantis to our son, who's going to be emperor. That way our daughter can be close to Rivera, because they were like, our daughter likes her. They sense something going on. Nisiana really is really intensely devoted to her friend and loves her. And the emperor and Rivera Lantis, they care about each other, but they both acknowledge we are not in love. We are partners, and we are taking care of this kingdom, and we are taking care of each other, and
you're my lavender marriage.
You're my lavender marriage. I'm also taking care of Nisiana and our friendship, all that. So when Rivera Lantis is in labor with her first child, when Prince Andreas is about to be born, the doctor can either save mom or the baby. And the emperor is like, I'm supposed to save my son because that's what's good for the kingdom. But he does value his wife, despite what I'm about to say next. And he asks her, hey, this is what's going to happen. Do you want it to be you or the baby? And this is a full-term baby that they would be losing. And she says, no, our child's going to be great. And I want to see the child we would make together. Because they are very good friends. They're not in love, but they're very good friends. And so she has the baby. She does not die right away. They manage to save her life. But she lives on for about 7 years in pain, slowly dying. And Nisiana is with her every step of the way, trying to cure her, trying to help her get better. And Rivera Lantis prepares her friends and family, hey, I'm gonna die. And she asks Nisiana, please take care of my son. And Nisiana takes this so extreme that when the king does fall in love again and marry, several years later, again, it's 7 years before he falls in love and marries. And he didn't love before.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
So now he loves now, and he's like, oh. And he married her. He and this new empress, Erica, they have kids too. They have little ones. And she's a nice stepmother. She's a nice woman. It takes a little bit for you to warm up to her in the story, because when you meet her, you're like, what a brat. But when you find out what she's going through, you're like, yeah, she's a brat in self-defense, because Nisiana is like, I'm going to take away all your power, because she resents her for being in her dead friend's place. So much that she slowly, very slowly, and it takes about 10 years, is gathering resources, information, and people so that she can, one, get rid of the empress / use her as a sacrifice to bring her dead friend back to life. She steals her dead friend's body, and then she tells her, I'm going to tell you something important when I bring you back. It makes it very well known that she's going to tell this woman, I'm in love with you, and I need you. It happens so many times where she's thinking aloud these thoughts. Nisiana cannot be stopped.
Is she wrong?
Yes.
Yeah, but gay rights and gay wrongs are okay, I think.
She's baller. I have never been more impressed with a scary villain, because she built up everything slowly over time, and then when she was ready to pull the plug, her brother is like, why are you like this? And she throws a paper in the air that lists her crimes, and she says, I've always been like this.
Queen shit. She's so hot.
She's so cool. She is so cool, and she acknowledges maybe life could have been better for her if she and the girl she loved were together.
So, this is why I wanted Keelz to talk about this, because the end result is maybe just let people be lesbians. Maybe just, look, they're royalty. Change some things around society and just let them be gay, because this is what could happen. It's like a threat against heteronormativity. Let people be gay, or they will fuck up your kingdom. They will raise all your shit to the ground.
Yeah, and long story short, honestly, Nisiana only fails because at the end she realizes she can't bring her friend back to life. She got close.
That's all that stops her.
That is all that stops her. She kills so many people.
Amazing.
She causes so much trouble. She also, so the lesbian from the other country, Rivera Dunamis, finally understands, oh, I gotta ease up after meeting this woman.
But oh my god.
Because not only does Nissiana, like, kind of echo her, but Nissiana's also like, hey, I injured your cousin, who you love like a baby sister, almost to the point of death. I killed, like, 3 of your knights. Oh, and the 4th one I turned as evil as me. With my lesbianism.
I'm trying to be upset with somebody here.
I was having a good time as long as she was alive. And then by the time she's defeated, the story wraps up pretty quickly. I mean, as soon as she's defeated, the story ends in 6 chapters.
Dumb. Obviously, they wanted to talk about evil lesbians, and that's all that mattered.
I have read a few forums discussing about it, and a lot of people were like, just let them be gay. A lot of people don't like the male lead, and everyone and their mom wants the Empress to get a divorce from her husband. Spoilers, she does not. But what I will say does happen, she does tell him, I cannot be satisfied with you loving me like an object. I'm leaving. So there are plans for her to get a divorce, and then he works his ass off to get her approval. In my opinion, he did not make up enough.
Yes.
In my opinion, he did not make up enough, and let me tell you, he does sacrifice his life for her. He doesn't die. But he tried to die for her to make up for his sins.
No, he should have died.
I still don't think it's enough, because it's, honestly, his sins are pretty weighty considering all the torment his wife was under and all the listening he did not do.
Yeah.
But I will say, they do have a loving marriage. It doesn't happen right away, but he does try to make up for his shit. But he's trash. He is trash. I don't think they should have gotten back together. So, like, the story kind of makes you feel like you're reading a Reddit post where a woman is complaining about her terrible boyfriend she will not break up with. But, like, again, I will say, it's pretty well written. And if you can ignore the straight ships in it, which is pretty ignorable, Parisa is not into relationships. She tells this very pushy prince, I am dedicated to your mother. I love your mother first.
What is this?
Because she's a dame, and she's I believe my job on this earth is to protect your mother and help her become a brave, strong empress.
It does just feel like they wanted to write a story about women being queer and doing cool shit, and they were forced to put men in it.
Yes.
And, like, and this is why all the men are terrible.
Yes. Like, that's what it feels like.
Fascinating.
So, like, I wouldn't say if you're wanting a queer fun time, pick this up. But I also wouldn't say pick this up for a fun straight time. But I would say that if romance is not gonna drive you berserk, that if you can just kind of roll your eyes and get over it, it's a good fantasy story. I was very impressed. Again, pleasantly surprised by an in-depth character theme in there. Because, like, Nissiana is truly pitiable.
Yeah, and she's not just a villain to be a villain. She's a villain because she has a deep wound that she is trying to work through. That was already there, and then they just been basically digging a stake into it for her entire life, and then the person she cares about the most died. Like, yeah, she's a tragic queer villain in a way that for a long time in our media, especially in the West, you didn't have a tragic queer villain, or you'd have to, like, dig to see the tragedy, but this is, like, front and center. Her tragedy is front and center.
This is very front and center. You literally see the moment she fully snaps, because she has a conversation with her brother, and it's pretty heartbreaking. And she's like, after the conversation with her brother, she's like, you just killed Rivera Atlantis again. So she's like, you killed your wife, the woman I love, again, by your words. And I'm like, wow. The passion Nissiana has when she speaks is very thought-provoking and real. Like, her pain is real.
Yeah.
I care about her. I kind of don't care about anyone else.
Yeah.
I care about her and, like, her gay downfall, I'll say, because she's, like, crashing. Love her.
Yeah.
The second one I'm going to talk about. It's just exhausting. Much shorter explanation of this one, because it does something that I was like, I used to see a trope a lot of, where it's like, I'm a girl in disguise, and the boy falls in love with me anyway, but he only is in love with me when I'm in my female persona.
Yeah. Oh, so like, okay, so not a Hanakimi situation where he's like, yeah, I know you're a girl and you can dress as a boy and I'm still into you regardless.
Hanakimi is the best version of that. This is the other ones, like, Girl Got Game is, I only fell in love with her when I realized she was a girl.
Okay.
Yeah.
So not accepting, like, her butch nature, basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
The not accepting the boy side.
Okay.
But this is a full acceptance of, like, oh, I might be gay, but I'm gay for this man. And that's great.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And they're young people. Like, they're high school students. And I was like, oh, I'm into that. Okay. So, the comic is called Can't Go Too Far with the Unrelenting Duke.
Mm-hmm.
What a mouthful.
Sure. Par for the course.
Yeah. The artist is Momo. The author is Dang Jiwi and Yusula. And you can find this comic on Tabbytoon and Liaison. It is tedious and tiring. You'll be there for the first 3 seasons because you don't give a shit about the couples. I personally didn't.
Yeah.
But I'm fucking there for the era it's set in. It feels like we are in 1910s era, so female suffrage era in like America and London.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like, ooh, this is Mary Poppins. Like, look at these styles and look at women trying to become more than just teachers and like da-da-da-da.
Mm-hmm.
And it's awesome. The female lead is Amelie. Amelie is a teacher to students who have all these like deep things happening to them as young people.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them is there's Augustine who fears women after an abusive situation at home.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's Maëlle who just wants to go to school. She wants to be an educated woman, and it's near impossible in her country. Because, like, let me say, in the other countries, this country's looked down on because everyone else is like, yay, women, equal rights.
Yeah.
This one is behind.
Yeah.
And they're being stubborn about it. But so the thing that happens in it is Augustine falls in love with Maëlle, and he does not know she is a woman until after they're dating.
Oh.
Yeah. I have not seen it in that form before.
Yeah.
Ever. So, Augustine, like, he slowly, as the story is going on, he's starting to figure out, am I gay? And he has very serious thoughts about this. When he finally realizes, I'm in love with Maëlle, he says to himself, I will probably be disowned. I will probably lose everything I have in love in this world.
Oh, so he goes through the whole gamut of like, I'm gay. I guess I'm prepared to be that.
He goes through the whole thing.
Oh.
And he's like, also like, I don't know if Maëlle is gay, but I have to tell him how I feel or I'll regret it the rest of my life.
Okay.
So when he confesses, and then Maëlle says, I also love you, because she does love Augustine. She loves him as Mallory and as Maëlle. But like, she accepts Augustine's feeling as Maëlle because she also is not ready to reveal her female self yet. Because she wants her education.
Interesting.
And so he tells Maëlle, we will probably both be disowned. We will probably have to leave this country. Maybe we'll have to live a life we never expected. Like, he's like, maybe we'll have to live like commoners and work our whole lives. Maybe it'll be never anything we thought it was going to be. But he's like, but I love you so much. I will go through that with you.
So willing to risk it all and both masquerade as a gay male couple, which would fuck their situation up societally because they care about each other that much.
Yes.
And they really think hard about it.
Yes.
That's cool.
Yeah. He does not know that she is a woman.
Yeah.
And, like, she, for her part, is like, I know he fears women. And so she's like, this is wrong of me, but I'm going to accept his feelings because I do love him. And she's like, I will eventually tell him I'm a woman. But she's also like, I have to get through school first.
That's an interesting twist to that.
Yeah. And so,
okay.
in the end, before she can graduate, it comes out she's a girl.
Yeah.
But there is not any laws written that this girl can't go to these schools.
Yeah.
So, loophole. And then again, women's suffrage being a main element, it manages to come in just in time so that she's allowed to attend the school, as herself for her last semester. She gets to be a female here.
Cool.
And so, like, that gets to come out. But, like...
And then, surprise, we're not gay.
Yeah. And then she and Augustine have a talk, and she is expecting him to break up with her. And he tells her, he's like, I learned a little bit about what women are going through when he saw that terrible incident.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, I learned that my thoughts towards women was small and misguided because I was abused. Hating women is not what I had a problem with. I was fearful of women.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not fearful anymore. And I still love you. I don't care if you're male or female. For 90% of the story, because it's like, again, 4 seasons. It's hundreds of chapters.
Mm-hmm.
He is ready to be gay for this man.
That's pretty fucking sick.
It was really cool. It was really nice because I was like, oh, that's amazing.
Oh, yeah, that is interesting. I'm not going to read it.
No.
But that part is extremely interesting. I think that many chapters is too much.
I also, to be real, the first 3 seasons were really good. They hit. The last season, and I don't know if this is because there were 2 authors and maybe one left the project or maybe one came on at the end. The last season is awful, and you just want the main characters to fucking get over their bullshit.
I have bad news for you.
Yeah.
I'm willing to bet one of them's the actual author and the other one's the adaptation person. And so, no, it just might get bad at the end.
It just might be bad at the end.
Yeah.
I can't tell you. I didn't do that much research into it. Guys, it's not great.
Oof.
Like, it's still, like, if you can get over it, because by the time I was in it, I was really skipping a couple. What I will say is nice, the weird queer shit happening in the background, the women's suffrage, that's still going strong. You're having a good time there. But any amount of time you have to spend with the male and female lead, you want to die.
Yeah, exactly.
So, these are not me recommending these stories, unfortunately.
It's just saying, hey, I found a queer gem in this pseudo-turd of a story. Not the worst stories you've read. These are way better than some of the other things that you've read, for sure.
Yes, no, like, in the grand scheme of things, I have read way worse. And I'm still pretty satisfied I read them. I don't think I would read them again. Again, like, I would give someone this hard conversation of, like, there are parts that are good, but overall I didn't like it.
Yeah.
That's the conversation I would, like, have someone and I would say, go with God, read it. But holy shit, I was so excited for the queerness in both these. I loved Nissiana in the first one being this brilliant, evil lesbian. And she's also tragic. Extremely tragic. I was like, God damn, bury my gays indeed. This is so sad.
Yeah.
It was so sad and written well. I would have loved to have read that as a child.
Yeah.
There was nothing like that in my teenage years.
Oh, for sure.
Same with this. The story of a young man who's like, I guess I'm gay now and I will live the gay life. He had the gay experience without actually, in the end, being gay. But we can't even say that because, like, is he just not gay or is he bisexual, honestly?
Or is this the one woman that he would feel comfortable being with because he got to experience her through a gay lens first and then just really actually sees her as a complete person and that's what he's in love with?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a fascinating thing to shove in there.
It was so fascinating, and, like, I was pumping my fist. This had me so excited because, like, these were things I yearned for in my childhood. I yearned to be sure that someone loved me, all of me, for who I was.
Yeah.
I yearned for an example of, like, this is what happens if you don't come out. And, like, that's, like, a harsh thing to say. But, like, I, as a young person, was preparing myself to live a fake straight life. I was like, I like men anyway, so I'll marry a man.
You were prepared to settle for a lifestyle.
Yeah. And you know what's sad? Every time I dated a man, even if I liked them, I always felt unhappy because I wasn't being honest. Yeah. And I didn't actually start feeling good dating men until I came out as bisexual. Until I, like, let people know, hey, I'm bi, so yes, I like men and I like women. Just, like, it's a different level of honesty. And I was, like, willing to bury that side of myself. And you have a villainess who she did bury that side of herself. And it cost her her sanity and her peace.
Yeah.
And so that was, like, I was like, these lessons in here are great.
So the moral of the story, in this month of Pride, 2026, is to be gayer. Lean all the way in. Don't hesitate. Live your truth. Right?
Thousand percent.
I think that's the big takeaway here. Live, love how you want to, lean in hard, respect yourself, learn to find that confidence and comfort within yourself, and enjoy the life that you have crafted. Yeah.
Yeah. Enjoy the life you crafted. And, like, right now there's a lot of things that are happening that are terrible. But I want you to look for the evidence that things are also getting better.
Look for the helpers, I think, is what Mr. Rogers said.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, look for the helpers. Look for the queer little helpers that are all around you. Look for the people who are making the best out of their situation and pushing forward.
Look for the bikers wearing the trans flag jackets. Look for, the countryman who looks like he might kill you, but he's also got gay pride running on his farm,
Look for Garfield at Pride.
Yes. Garfield's gay now.
Yeah. So that's pretty much all we have. I know this is a little bit different. Let me go ahead and tell you a little bit about Lily Marble as a whole, just to finish this off. So if you want to dive deep into the ups and downs of lesbianism and how it meshes into Japanese society, Lily Marble, it would be a great read for you. It's 3 whole volumes. The spread is still a pretty quick and enjoyable read. You can read it on Omoi, that's omoi.com, omoi.com, or by the single chapters on Barnes & Noble's website as an ebook. It contains cheating, unrequited love, misunderstandings, societal bullshit, and hot ladies.
Mm-hmm.
If you would like more from Kisugae, you can find her on Bluesky or Twitter at Kisugae. That's Kisugae. You can also visit her website, kissgraph.com, kisgraph.com, or read one of her other English public works, Kotonoha, on Renta. She also apparently is a VTuber, I've heard, and
cool.
She will live stream doing art and playing games and stuff like that. I don't know how to get access to her. I don't think she's streaming on Twitch. I think she's streaming on a Japanese platform. So, but yeah, that's there to look forward to as well. So, well, as always, if you want more whole, we've got 2 different places you can find us. You can find us on Tumblr, or you can find us on Bluesky, both at whole-chat. You can always send us an email if you would like to get really deep and talk personally one-on-one with me, who runs the email and looks at all of the bullshit that comes into my inbox. I would love to see a cat picture or love to hear from y'all, so please do not hesitate to reach out to us. That's whole.chat.69@gmail.com. You can always leave a comment on our YouTube videos, on our Bluesky posts, or any social media stuff like that. Our DMs are also open, which I know is a dangerous thing to allow you guys into, but I'm totally fine with it. Do not hesitate to put something in there. If you have any questions that you want answered, we will totally do that, so just let us know. And since it's still Pride Month, please be nice to your nearest queer person. If you're not queer yourself, be nice to your nearest queer person. If you are queer yourself, buy yourself something nice, girl. Let's go.
Get a treat.
Enjoy yourself. And spread this, please.
Yeah.
Be nice to us and spread this to people that you know, anybody who might be interested, including your pop. Mm-hmm. He might be hiding something from you.
Also, if you send us like a request that Keelz never tells you stories again, that is fine. That is so fine. I am not a researcher and explainer of tales. If you did like it, though, well, shit. I could do it again.
If you did like it, grease your pumps, because we also have a Ko-Fi that I will be linking down below as well. So, if you want her to do this again, grease your gay little palm, and we will do that.
Please pay me.
Yeah, that's all we've got for you guys for this week. Thank you guys so much for listening, and tighten up.
Tighten up.